Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Boxing New.
Fanboys, be advised, this video contains the absolute truth, may cause hurt feelings, and a need to thumbs down the video. Vergil, Free Smoke Ortiz, and Oscar De La Hoya state that they want the Terence Bud Crawford fight next. And De La Hoya went into detail about this and states the only guy I would think twice about would be Terence Crawford, but that's still a fight I would love to make right now. I would put him in with Terence Crawford next. We would most definitely do the Terence Crawford versus Vergil Ortiz fight next. Oscar De La Hoya also states there's no issues on their side to do a fight with the top rank promoters and Bob Arum. So you see that they're clearing any roadblocks, any obstacles. They would be more than welcome to do a fight with Terence Bud Crawford next. They believe that that's a good fight for them. Even Vergil Ortiz came out and stated that makes me feel great that his promoter would have his support and back him like this. He said, I'm grateful that I have the confidence of my promoter behind me, and I feel like I can do it too. I agree. We can make the fight next. I'll happily take it. Definitely. So you got to admire the fact that Vergil Ortiz is all about free smoke, that he wants to fight the best, that he wants to be great. These are things that I admire about Vergil Ortiz, because the guy is truly a young talent on the rise and wants to be great. He doesn't want to settle for second best. He doesn't want to go through easy fights. He wants to be challenged. He wants to be the best in the division, and he also wants to be a world champion. And you see that Vergil Ortiz has been trying to get a step up fight recently. He's been trying to target Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman over the last year, and yet no one has answered the call. So you see that Vergil Ortiz has been free smoke in the welterweight division, turning nothing down but chasing down opportunities for anyone that will accept it. And a lot of people are still saying that Golden Boy won't make this fight for some delusional reason, when you see that Oscar De La Hoya has even put in Ryan Garcia against a top contender in Luke Campbell. So you see that he's all about making great fights. So I have no doubt that this is a fight that they would love to make, and also the fact that Vergil Ortiz is free smoke. When you look at a guy like Terence Crawford in the rankings with Vergil Ortiz is ranked number 2 in the WBO for Terence Bud Crawford's belt. Sean Porter is the only one ranked above him. So if you look at it like this, if Porter gets the winner of Spence Garcia, like people are talking about, and Terence Crawford doesn't get the Manny Pacquiao fight, it's reasonable to think that Vergil Ortiz could be next in line for Terence Bud Crawford, because he is at an acceptable spot in the rankings at number 2 for this to be a valid fight for Terence Bud Crawford. And at the end of the day, Vergil Ortiz, this guy is still better than a Kell Brook at this point in his career. Kell Brook was a washed out fighter, who had permanent damage to his face, major surgery, and had no punch resistance left. So we got to be real about that. Now, when you look at Vergil Ortiz, I personally don't think that he's ready for this type of step up. He's very young. I would love to see him face a guy like Mean Machine first. I think that those are the type of fights that would develop him as a young fighter, work out any kinks that he has, and will help him be a better fighter down the line to prepare for the level of a Terence Crawford. We just got to be real. I think that he needs step up fights first, and I think Mean Machine or Judas Kavalauskas would be the perfect fight for him, not Terence Crawford next. That's my personal opinion. I think that they should take it slow with Vergil Ortiz. Terence Bud Crawford is a problem and a monster in the division. When you look at closer look at Terence Crawford, you see the guy's a 3-weight world champion. He's a pound for pound fighter. He's an elite fighter. He's a multi-dimensional fighter. So Terence Bud Crawford, in my opinion, is the best welterweight in the division. The guy is an absolute monster, and the guy can switch hit. He can do pretty much any and everything in the ring. But make no mistake, Terence Crawford is probably the best welterweight. He's elite. He has a lot of skills, but also the same problem with Terence Bud Crawford is we did see him get dropped by Mean Machine himself. We've seen him hurt in a fight, and yes, he did win that fight by stoppage, but at the same time, no welterweight is invincible. Every welterweight has flaws and vulnerabilities, and Vergil Ortiz has a lot of power. I would never count him out of a fight, because when you got that kind of power, anything can happen. But once again, Unbiased as always, it's the IBFP.